Hey my loves, you know I'm always on the hunt for the next amazing thing for my skin. So I decided to try two very different treatments, African red clay and the famous Brazilian wax. These two are worlds apart. One is all about natural, earthy goodness. The other is known for making you super smooth, but maybe with a little bit of ouch. I was curious to compare them. I wanted to know which one would win my heart and make my skin sing. Get ready, because I'm spilling all the tea on this epic skin journey. African red clay is this amazing natural powder from Morocco or other parts of Africa. People have been using it for centuries. They say it's packed with minerals that are incredible for your skin. Then you have the Brazilian wax, all about hair removal. It's super popular for getting that silky, smooth skin, especially for bikini season. I was ready to face it all for you guys. Could a gentle, ancient clay compete with a modern, super effective hair removal technique? I documented everything, from the application process to how my skin felt days later. Let's see which one truly transformed my skin, and which one I'd do again in a heartbeat. Let's talk about African red clay first. This stuff is legendary. It's been a beauty secret for generations, especially in North Africa. The clay comes from ancient deposits, often found in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco. It's also known as Rasoul clay or Gasoul clay. This clay is naturally rich in amazing minerals like silica, magnesium, potassium, and calcium. These are all superfoods for your skin. They help to nourish, detoxify, and improve skin texture. The traditional use of African red clay is fascinating. For centuries, people have used it as a soap, shampoo, and skin conditioner. They would mix the raw clay chunks or powder with water, rose water, or argan oil to create a paste. Then they'd apply it to their skin and hair in traditional bathhouses called hammams. The clay is known for its incredible ability to draw out impurities, toxins, and excess oils from deep within the pores. It's like a magnet for all the gunk you don't want on your skin. The high silica content helps to improve skin elasticity and firmness. Magnesium is great for calming irritated skin and supporting the skin barrier. It's naturally cleansing without stripping the skin of its natural oils. So, when you're using African red clay, you're basically tapping into an ancient beauty ritual. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the Brazilian wax. A Brazilian wax is a type of hair removal that gets rid of all, or almost all, pubic hair. It became super popular in the 1990s, especially in coastal cities like those in Brazil. The whole point is to achieve a completely smooth, hair-free look and feel. The main ingredient in a Brazilian wax is, well, wax. There are different types of wax used. Hard wax is very common for Brazilians. It's applied warm, then hardens as it cools and shrink wraps the hair. Then, the therapist pulls it off without needing a strip. The goal is to remove the hair from the root. This means it takes longer for the hair to grow back, and when it does, it's often softer and finer. It's all about achieving that ultra-smooth skin. Okay, so it was time to try the African red clay. I was so excited for this. It felt like a spa day at home. I got my little bowl, my clay powder, and some rose water. The instructions were simple. Mix the clay with liquid to form a paste. I decided to use rose water for its soothing properties. I started with a few tablespoons of the red clay powder. It was so fine and had this beautiful, rich, earthy color. I slowly added the rose water, mixing it with a wooden spoon. Once my clay paste was ready, it was application time. I decided to use it on my face and also on a patch of skin on my arm. For my face, I made sure my skin was clean and dry. I used my fingers to apply a thin, even layer, avoiding my eyes and mouth. The clay felt cool and smooth as it went on. I spread it all over my face, a nice even coat. Then for my arm, I applied a thicker layer to a small section. I sat back and let the clay work its magic. The instructions said to leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it was partially dry. As the clay started to dry, I could feel it tightening on my skin. Rinsing it off was easy. As I rinsed, my skin underneath felt incredibly soft and smooth. Alright, now for the Brazilian wax. I'm not going to lie, I was a bit nervous. I've had waxing done before, but a full Brazilian is always a bit daunting. I went to a reputable salon with an experienced esthetician. The room was clean and private. My esthetician was really nice and explained everything, which helped to calm my nerves. She asked about any skin sensitivities and what shape I wanted, or if I wanted everything gone. I opted for the classic everything off Brazilian. The process started with her cleansing the area. Then she applied a pre-wax oil to protect the skin. She was using hard wax, which she said is generally better for sensitive areas like the bikini line. She would apply a patch of warm wax with a spatula, let it set for a few seconds, and then Rape! The first few pulls are usually the most intense. She worked in small sections, which is good. She was very quick and efficient, which I appreciated. The whole thing took about 30 minutes. Let's talk about how my skin reacted to both treatments in the days that followed. After the African red clay mask, my facial skin felt amazing. It was noticeably softer and smoother, almost like it had been polished. My pores, especially around my nose, looked a bit smaller and clearer. There was no redness or irritation at all, which was fantastic for my sometimes sensitive skin. It just felt really balanced and refreshed. The patch on my arm where I applied the clay also remained very soft. I felt like my skin could breathe better. It had a healthy, subtle glow, not an oily shine but a nice, natural radiance. I was seriously impressed. The clay also seemed to calm down a little bit of redness I sometimes get on my cheeks. It felt very gentle, yet effective. Over the next few days, my skin continued to feel good. My makeup seemed to apply more smoothly, which is always a bonus. I didn't experience any dryness or breakouts, which can sometimes happen with new products. It just felt like the clay had given my skin a really good reset. Let's break down the pros and cons of each treatment head to head. For African red clay, the pros are pretty huge for me. First, it's all natural. I love knowing I'm using something pure from the earth. Second, it's incredibly gentle yet effective at cleansing and purifying. My skin felt so clean and soft without any harshness. Third, it's versatile. You can use it on your face and body. Fourth, it's relatively inexpensive, especially if you buy the powder and mix it yourself. A little goes a long way, and finally it seemed to improve my skin texture and reduce pore visibility, giving me a nice glow. The cons of African red clay? Honestly, it's hard to find many. Maybe the DIY aspect could be a con for some people who prefer a ready-to-use product. It can be a little messy to mix and apply if you're not careful. Also, the results, while lovely for skin texture and clarity, aren't as dramatically transformative in an instant way as something like hair removal. It's more of a gentle improvement over time, a nurturing treatment. Now for the Brazilian wax. The biggest pro is, without a doubt, the super smooth, hair-free skin you get. It lasts for weeks, much longer than shaving. When the hair does grow back, it can be softer and finer over time. Many people love the clean feeling it provides. During this whole experiment, there were definitely a few surprises along the way. With the African red clay, I was genuinely surprised by how incredibly soft my skin felt after just one use. I expected it to be cleansing, but the level of softness and smoothness was beyond what I anticipated. It felt like I'd had a gentle microdermabrasion treatment. Another surprise was how calming it was for my skin. I sometimes get a bit of surface redness, and the clay seemed to even out my skin tone and reduce that redness noticeably. I wasn't expecting such a visible calming effect from a clay mask. It truly felt like it was healing and nourishing. I also found that the effects of the clay mask seemed to last. My skin stayed clearer and felt more balanced for several days after using it. Usually with some masks, the nice effects are gone by the next morning. So after trying both African red clay and the Brazilian wax, which one is my preferred choice? Drumroll please. For overall skin transformation, health and happiness, my heart truly belongs to the African red clay. It was such a beautiful, gentle, yet incredibly effective experience. My skin felt detoxified, softened, and looked visibly clearer and more radiant. The fact that it's all natural, affordable, and offers lasting benefits without any painful side effects makes it a clear winner for me. It's a treatment I would happily incorporate into my regular skincare routine, both for my face and body. It felt like a true act of self-care. The Brazilian wax definitely delivers on its promise of smooth, hair-free skin. If that is your absolute #1 priority, and you're willing to tolerate the pain and potential for ingrown hairs, then it's a very effective option. The immediate results are dramatic. However, for me, the discomfort during the procedure and the annoying ingrown hairs afterward just don't make it worth it for regular use. It's something I might consider for a very special occasion, but not as a routine part of my beauty regimen. The transformation it offered felt more superficial and came with too many caveats for my sensitive skin. My skin felt genuinely nourished and happy after the African red clay. It was a transformation from the inside out, improving texture, clarity, and overall health. The Brazilian wax, while transforming the surface by removing hair, left my skin feeling a bit stressed and vulnerable in that specific area. I'm all about treatments that make my skin feel good in the long run, not just look a certain way for a short period at the expense of comfort or skin health. African red clay is an ancient secret that truly deserves all the hype.